ahead and get this moving. We're going to have Bianca start us out. Oh, Tim? Okay, we're going to have Tim start us out and Bianca, and they're going to represent the community inreach portion of our modules. So we are good to go. It's the same routine. Let her know when you want to switch your slides. Don't worry about this. And allow for a delay. Okay, on the slide switching.
All right. Hey, everybody. Glad to see everybody. Glad everybody made it. And I want to thank Spring Point Partners for allowing us to use the Hive. I love that name because it's like a collaborative thing. And that's how we always kind of work in collaboration. One is something that affects all of us, or one of us is definitely going to affect all of us, no matter how small it is. I've often kept that philosophy in my mind. So, I also want to thank the rest of our donors that help us put this on, and the people that came up with the idea to let everyday regular people in the hood, give them more power and access to help the people that honestly we were already helping. I mean, every day we do this, so. Bianca and I are going to present together, mostly because my country butt didn't finish with my presentation, okay? so it's working out cool anyway. So, my name is Tim Freeman. My nonprofit is braveheartpets.org. I don't really run Braveheart Pets or conceive it. It kind of conceived me because I've always had a passion for training dogs, and I was fortunate enough to find a way after my youthful days of training dogs with very little compulsion. I think with training dogs, there's always some type of compulsion that's necessary, but I've learned to get it down to just like 99% treats. And you know what my punishment will be? Withholding the treat. So it's like I don't really have to go through all the norms that we see most of the people in our society go through. Now, we both live in Atlanta, and it's got a name attached to it. They call it the Dirty South. There's a reason for that. Now, culturally speaking, after coming out of the vestiges of slavery and stuff, being below the Bible Belt is a rough place to be. Literally, most of the slave owners and stuff, they had more respect for their dogs than they had for people of our color. They loved the dogs more, treated them better than they treated us. So coming out of that, what I think I have observed, I may be wrong, but I thought I observed a lot of black people wanted to take their frustrations out on the dog because the master took his frustrations out on them. And they never learned that this was not necessary. They just thought it was a way of life. You make the dog do everything you wanted to do, and if he doesn't do it, there's some type of harsh punishment that comes behind it. And unfortunately, in the dog's mind, this will work because he learns to avoid the harsh punishment, but it takes so freaking long, and it breaks down the bond between you and that dog. So initially, what got me training dogs was just that. I had my first pit bull ever. His name was Blue Boy. James will probably remember him, but he has passed away. He was 18 years old, so don't cry. But actually, when I got Blue Boy, I trained a guy to pay him, and he was using the old, yank and crank with the choke chain method. And Blue Boy was a pit bull. I thought he was gonna be like the hardest dog in the world. Man, that dude came home after about 2 days. So some years ago, I had read a little magazine by a lady named C.A.R.E. It was about clicker training, marker training. And the trainer told me he had saw another dog of mine. He said, well, that dog is trained pretty good. I said, well, I trained that dog out of the magazine. And, and he was a guy from Atlanta. He said, well, fuck, if you want to train him, then train him out of your magazine. Gave me back half my money. And that's what I did. And as we went on and my dog got happier, and I would come and show him, look, he's happy. And he was with a group of people. They were training dogs. They were going to competition. They swore to God that was not how you train a dog. So boom, you don't tell Tim Freeman what he can't do. So I went full speed ahead every day, watching videos, perfecting the clicker training. And I learned the spots where other people fell apart with it, because I had heard it wouldn't work before too. But I took my time and learned the spots where it would fall apart at. So eventually I was going to trial. We were going with German Shepherds, Malinois. These were mostly police-owned dogs, and I had a group of people from my neighborhood, and we all had a pit bull. and we would tear them people up with our pit bull. And the biggest difference was the whole time we were performing, and we won in this fashion a lot of times because the judges would say, well, this particular dog performed well, but it was under severe pressure, and we could tell. And they would say, we're just gonna have to give it to, we were called, what was it, Custom Canine. We're just gonna have to give the trophy to Custom Canine because all their dogs were just so happy, and you know, and we love that. So that's part of the way I want to give it to the kids and adults in the neighborhood that we, and of course this extends past the dogs. I love using dog training as a caveat to get into people's lives. So anytime I interact with them on that level, I'm really thinking more about their personal lives because I think as many of us have stated, when the people do better, the pets automatically do better. So my thing is to always allow them to understand that through treats and praise, and if if the dog's not doing what you ask it to do, just withhold the treat. And you'll see the dog work fervently to try to figure out why didn't it get the treat. And then and what it does is it creates a dog that actually thinks for itself. It wants to know, how can I achieve the treat? How can I please you? What does it take for me to gain your approval? And it doesn't take any type of compulsion. You just got to withhold the treats at some time. So, Bianca and I are living together, not living together, but we live right in the same area. Damn it, man. All right, we got that clear. We are not living together. Anyway, we collaborate on a lot of stuff. We already in negotiations with some people to acquire some lands because I would really like to see her and I together in like a rescue center where not like that. All right, we're talking professionalism here. But really, she is very good with growing things, very good with animals, as I am too. But I would love to see her mostly with the animal rescue center. And my caveat would be to just come in, manage things, make sure things are going, and that with the kids, just trying to make sure that they know that through love and admiration and a lot of treats, you can motivate your dog, you can motivate your kids, you can actually motivate your girlfriend, your boyfriend. This stuff really works. I mean, honestly, it really works. When you are overly nice, and then when somebody does something wrong, you don't go ham on them. You just kind of go neutral. And they say, okay, what is it going to take to get him or her back to where they were? And it don't take anything physical. So I love the fact that back in my days, I showed enough people enough things to know that they knew it was worthy to come back and reach back out to me to get this started again. Because actually, I hadn't been training dogs for a while. I've been raising my son, who's 15 years old now, and he's weathered a good part of his life, so I don't have to concentrate so much on him. But it's good that they recognize that, because I just got so much to give to the community, and I've already given it anyway. I mean, I live at home. I'm like the neighborhood vet, and no disrespect to the professional vets that we have here, but if they ain't gonna come see y'all, who they gonna come see? Me. So I learned a lot of home remedies. As I say, Blue Boy was 18 years old. He probably been to the vet twice in his life. And there's a lot of things that these kids need to know that can really help them out. But dog training, it permeates into the way you handle situations. Do you handle them abruptly? Do you always just rush in with this over hyper masculine attitude, which usually ends you up in jail or dead? And I just knew that there had to be a way that I could reach more people than just a couple of people that were walking to my house every day. And thanks to James, Jen, C.A.R.E, and all our collaborating partners, they came up the way. It's about funding and showing other people. I'm getting older, so my mission is not to be everywhere, but to show people how to do this. So eventually, Braveheart Pets will be mostly informational based, going virtually, and I'll have a character who Braveheart will actually be the dog, and the dog will disseminate my training information through his voice. So it'll be the first time y'all will really have a dog tell y'all what the hell he's thinking. So that's my stand. We're looking for a community center where we can, help the kids. We're also looking for rescue center because gentrification in Atlanta right now is crazy, and we've had generations of people living there that are getting put out now. So every other day, somebody's coming to me like, Tim, can you keep my dog for a couple of weeks? I just need to get back on my feet. Usually I keep them until it's about 2 or 3 dogs. The fourth person that comes, I'm like, man, I got 3, I got my 3, and I got 3 other people's, so I really can't take on anymore, and I hate that. I hate that. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to solve. Not just dog training. I love dog training, but I love the wraparound idea that dog training gets me in the door and it allows people to trust my opinion. Yeah, so that's about it for me. And I'm gonna let y'all let Bianca have it. I'm gonna stay right here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bianca. I'm based in Atlanta, Bankhead, West Side. First, I just want to start out by saying thank you to Jen and James for believing in me and giving me the courage to do this, because that wasn't possible for me before. And also a big shout out to Nick for, I used to work at Animal Control, and he remembered me, and he the one who told James and Jen about me. And if it wasn't for him remembering me in my spirit, then I wouldn't be here. So that being said, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of who I am and why I do what I do. So some people wonder why people are in the certain situations that they are in. Some people are just doomed to fail from birth. My grandmother is an active crackhead. My mother was a drug addict, a teenage parent, and a prostitute. All I knew was the hood, violence, sell my body to get money, use what I can to get what I want. And I had an abortion at 12, and then I got pregnant with a whole nother baby at 14. I still completed high school. I had to work and go to school and just try to survive. And I was just like the product of my environment. I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I know is when I was younger, my piece came from being around animals, going to the pet store, taking trips to the zoo, getting a chance to, I don't know, just see the animals. I don't know why it always just piqued my interest, but that's just something that I knew I wanted to do. I was watching Animal Planet and saw the animal control officers going to save the pet. So I was like, that's what I want to do. And I didn't really have any experience, but I still went when I was old enough to apply the animal control in Fulton County. I got the job. They saw that even when I was younger, I would go and people would tell me, hey, I got these puppies under my house. Can you crawl under there and get them for me? And I do it. So by the time that I hit 21, old enough to work at Animal Control, they looked and saw my name and saw that even though I was young, I had already turned in so many animals, and I actually was doing the work. So they hired me. They was like, okay. But that was back when it was black then. Like it had a black owner. Most of the people who I work with were African American and from the neighborhood that I work with. So that's basically just telling like how I got here. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I just know that I wanted to try to do something different, and I actually got that opportunity through Animal Control. You can go to the next slide. So fast forward, this is emotional. But being overlooked, because like I said, I was just a person in my neighborhood. I didn't know what I was doing with Animal Control. I didn't really know what I was doing in my life. I just knew that I liked being in the neighborhood, picking up animals, trying to get people help. That's what I like to do. So I got in a lot of trouble because of my mouth, how I speak. I'm just like, I'm wild. Everybody know that. And that's not really accepted in the animal care field. Like, I couldn't really be myself. I got ridiculed and kind of like talked about a lot. And it kind of made me not want to do the work anymore. Because, I mean, I was just there to enhance my life so that I could be happier. But, you know, that kind of come off a little different when you wild like me. Because you know me, I'm a twerk, I'm a dance. I'm gonna have a good time wherever I'm at. And it was like, you know, they wanted me to police my people, and I'm like, I live in this neighborhood. I'm not gonna police them. I'm not gonna write these people a ticket for not having dog food or the proper cages. Why don't we just find some type of way to give these people what they need? That way we can help them instead of criminalizing the neighborhood. So, yeah, I got in a lot of trouble because I wouldn't conform. And then eventually I kind of gave up. My other dream was to become a chef. So I actually ended up working on that, and I'm still a chef now. But I also work with C.A.R.E, and they allowed me to start my own nonprofit. And it started in the pandemic when I lost my job as a chef because it's a small company. And they didn't have any business. And honestly, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I have a high school education. I don't have any college experience. I'm not really I don't really know too much about too many different cultures except for my hood. So I didn't ever really want to try because I didn't know what to do. And like I said, C.A.R.E, I ended up finding about C.A.R.E through Nick, and they helped me to start my own nonprofit by just seeing that I was still doing the work, even though I didn't really have anything myself. Like, I was just going to collect donations when people came around and did the donations in the neighborhood, and I would just get extra donations and take them to people who didn't have rides or take them to people who wasn't able to get access. And then it just got bigger and bigger from there, to the point where every year on my birthday, I was giving out, I think the most I ever did was 350 box meals, book bags filled with personal care items and stuff like that. And even up to now, where on Thanksgiving and Christmas, we do turkey giveaways. We're allowed to give the children toys, just because people in our neighborhood literally give us this stuff, and I'm able to just re-give it back to the people in the same neighborhood that don't have anything. You can go to the next slide. So, the successes, one thing people don't know about the city of Atlanta is we have so many turtles, because Atlanta is surrounded by water, different small bodies of water. So we got so many different wildlife that come up. And one thing that come up in our neighborhood is turtles. So me and my boyfriend and my kids, we actually dug a giant hole in the ground, and we built our own turtle pond, because we started getting so many people finding turtles and so many people who couldn't take care of them, that we just built our own turtle pond. So now we got our own little turtle rescue going on. Right now we got 8 turtles. Connecting with BIPOC pet lovers to create volunteer opportunities. Like, I got a lot of wild friends, like they super hood, and but they come around and they got this giant boa constrictor on their shoulder, or they, walking around and they got these reptiles, and it's like, you don't really see that type of love for your animals. You don't see us with our animals just showing love. You usually see maybe a little white lady kissing a puppy or something like that. But it's like, I'm using my social media to change that. When you look at social media, I want you to be comfortable with just seeing us and our pets, with our tattoos and us listening to our Cardi B and dancing. And it's fine. It's not a big deal. Standing up for what matters most. We do a lot of where we go and we do protests for the community. A lot of police shootings like Rayshard Brooks. And also where they're actually trying to build on a site where people were killed and their land was taken at the brick company, and this giant brick company has taken over this land, and nobody is paying reparations to those families. That's Tim, and we actually saw each other at there. Creating a safe space for LGBTQ BIPOC with no judgment. It's okay for you to be yourself. It's okay for you to be who you want to be. If you love animals, just do that, with nobody having to tell you how you have to change. And last but not least, giving back and supporting our communities with hope and help, instead of criminalizing them for just being us. Because I'm going to do me. So I want the community to just be accepted. And once we are able to be accepted and we don't have to hide behind the shadows, it'll change the perception and people can actually open up and learn how to love because they're receiving love in return. Next slide. Yep. So one thing that we need more donations, especially like land donations, only because I have one piece of property that's on my mind. It's 660 Alta Place. The zip code is 30318. The owner is this wealthy guy who owns all this different type of land, and he doesn't even live in Georgia. The land is sitting there rotten. It's about 3 acres. It has its own private lake. And one day I would like to have a small farm, have like a little corn maze, a pumpkin area, maybe some bees to be able to show the kids. And it's right here in the neighborhood, so the kids will be able to actually see how to be self-sustainable. They'll be able to see livestock. And I actually have black cowboy friends who own horses in the city of Atlanta. You never see them, you know why, but they willing to come out and volunteer, show the kids how to ride horses, and just do all of these things that we get overlooked for. We need transportation. I don't even have a car myself, but because so many other people help me, like I really don't even need a car at this point. But I would like to get maybe some type of vehicle to transport people to vet appointments or community activities, because so many of the people, like we live in a food desert, there's nothing around us, like it's not even one grocery store, and we live in the fastest growing zip code in the city of Atlanta, that's 30318. It's the most gentrified area in the past 5 years. Like it's so many people coming into the neighborhood, and it's so easy for them to walk their dog and have a beautiful lawn and a nice house. And it's a whole community behind them, and they really feel like that they have no obligation to help their neighborhood, and they can take their kids to a different school district and they can work somewhere else. And it's like, but you're a part of this neighborhood, and without your help, if you want the violence and the crime and everything to stop, you have to be the change. So also to get awareness, we need more ways to be able to get awareness to the people. More volunteers and more partners to come in and ship people in to help volunteers, so that way they can help us and even branch out to another city, another state. That way we can all be connected together. Help people with vet bills and having more vet partners, because I only know of one vet and she is here today. Like that's the only vet I know, and I've been living in this place my whole life. And how is that when I know that my neighbors have these big, beautiful dogs? They can take their animals to another vet care facility, but we have to like watch our dogs suffer because one, we can't afford vet care, and two, we don't even have a way to get to a vet if something happened. We need more time. We need more time to focus on the important things. We need to be able to have the time as a community to have like resources. Like I want to be able to throw a block party for the community and give out pet food and information on how to get vet care and shots and tags and things like that. And we also need a change on local laws, because in the city of Atlanta, pit bulls are banned. And that's crazy to me, because Atlanta is like the mecca of Georgia for pit bulls. Everybody I know have pit bulls. You cannot get an apartment, you cannot rent a house, you cannot get services. If you have a pit bull, it's outlawed. So of course I'm gonna hide my pet. Of course I'm not gonna get cared for, because if somebody know you got it, you instantly gonna be criminalized, and you're not able to. It's just a trickle effect. Once we are able to change the laws, we are able to change the people. Next. Okay, what will you do with more resources? I thought about this for a long time, and only thing that I really want to do is just be able to change the community and the people that's around it, because I see it within myself. If it wasn't for James and Jen giving me an opportunity, and on those days when I'm like, oh, I can't do it, I don't think I can do it, I don't, and Jen is like, if you don't get it together, you can do this, you got this, I'm gonna punch you. No, She doesn't say that. But no, like, if it wasn't for them, like, just giving me that extra boost, sometimes my confidence get low just because I've never had anybody to even believe in me enough to give me that confidence. Sometimes that's all we need. If I had the opportunity to get more resources, we could do so much. Like this picture at the bottom, somebody just dropped this beautiful Alaskan Husky on my porch. I woke up and she was just sitting there. But through social media, I was able to find her a new home. She is happy, getting vet care, everything she needed. And up here, we donated dog food. It was donated from Chewy. Thank you so much to Maddie's Fund for believing in me and giving me my first grant. And that way, we're doing, yes. We are actively doing Atlanta's first pet census, where we going around house to house collecting information on what the people actually need, because nobody knows. It's no real answer. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, Hakeem. Thank you, Muwini. Thank you, Reggie, because all of them came out and helped walk through the hood to talk to these people and collect that information. Thank you so much to the vets, just even helping me with my dog, like taking in my pet, because I didn't even know how I was going to get vet care for my own dog, and I work in animal care, and it's so hard for that. And just thank everybody for being here, listening to my story, giving me this opportunity, because just seeing that y'all believe and seeing that y'all are here, it make me even feel like I can do more. So thank y'all.